Do you have that new concept art ready for the new champ? What is this crap? How is anybody supposed to jerk off to this?
This is a topic I'm genuinely amazed I haven't bitched about yet. Pretext is I've spent way too much of my youth on this game, but now I'm a born-again life enjoyer, more or less. I quit this shit somewhere around 5 years ago, and I haven't looked back, and I felt way better about it ever since. Now here's the interesting thing about my complaint. I'm not here to drone on and on about how stupid it is that they are still trying to pump life into this decaying, archaic MOBA created haphazardly about 20 plus years ago now, rather than just actually fucking remake or create a sequel with massive improvements to not just optimization but functionality and getting rid of old engine limitations. No, seriously, it's a good idea to just keep slapping little health increase band-aids on your hemorrhaging, ticking time bomb of the game. This is gonna work out great. Well, whatever. That out of the way, I'm here to piss people off in a different way. League is a good one to bitch about for a little rage bait, because I'm pretty sure it's still the largest most played MOBA in the world right now. But anyway. League's new champion design philosophy is fucking dog shit, and I can't prove it, but it appeals to gooners and Disney fans. And let's look at League's origins real quick. Older designs and concept art. Alright, now did I eventually mildly warm up to Viego? Sure, I guess. I mean, he still has some interesting aspects to his design. Set too, I mean, I like giant, ripped, buff guys. Of course I like this guy's design. Alright, anyway, here's some concept art for Set. And here's some concept art for Viego. I guess in a vacuum, these designs would not bother me. I would not be upset if you put Viego's ass in some Korean Genshin-like set. Screw it. While I much prefer these two concept arts for him. I think he ended up looking pretty good in the final design. But in League, well, it's personally upsetting to me that the design philosophy seems to be moving heavily away from cool, weird monster champions to a bunch of smooth-faced, generic pretty men. League has stated as such as well, that this is the transition they are trying to achieve. This is what they are going for. Westerners, historically, such as myself, have preferred the monster designs, and Chinese audiences have preferred the more, like, human and the cute stuff. And nowadays, Chinese audiences are the main consumer base for League, more or less. So I mean, I get why the champions I like are being made less and less now. I don't like it, but I do understand it. It's not novel, and I feel like most people would agree with this for different reasons, but nonetheless, Tencent owning League has done irreparable damage to its initial intriguing design philosophy. We went from stuff like giant weird gelatin monster lab experiments, weird irradiated plague-infested rat-human hybrids, sorcerers warped by the void, more aliens, this fucking guy, to, well... Now I am aware that I've been kind of just, needlessly bitching constantly about the change in how champions are made now. And yeah, of course I am, because it's fucking stupid. When I started playing this now abysmal dog shit game back somewhere around 2015-2016, whenever Lucian was released, a large part of the appeal was the intriguing character roster, and at the time, this is what the fucking roster looked like, and even if many of the splash arts didn't necessarily convey how cool the actual concept of the monster was sometimes, and sometimes the monster didn't look that cool in the game either, there was still something cooking here. Shit, I would even argue that after Tencent acquired Riot, more or less. The creativity was still there, and that 2010 to 2015, I'd say, were the golden years, before things started rusting up and shitifying. Now it's depressing, but I suppose nothing I can change. They've fully decided to just stay in their lane and follow where the money goes, which, I mean, guess I can't say I blame them for doing business as usual. You know, big corporation, gotta keep making the green line shoot up. And if that means appealing to Chinese audience with the same generic boring-ass pretty boy, or Disney-faced dragons, or whatever the hell this awful shit was, well, whatever. And this is why the best designs Riot is making nowadays is champion redesigns. A lot of those old champions already had cool designs and concepts. The only thing I'd say Riot didn't do as well as they do today is visual stuff. The art style for Riot is the one thing I will say has improved significantly. The visual effects, splash art, etc. Like this old champion redesign in their new art style is sick as hell. Same for all these monsters that became even cooler with their new art style. New Swain, just one of my favorite designs for anything really. And this is the most depressing thing to me. This clearly shows that they still have passion and ability to create legitimately intriguing and cool weird shit. Weird stuff, monsters, whatever. They just can't. It's not where the money is, unfortunately. This game now appeals to a different audience than it used to. You know, yeah, end of an era, I guess. Has been for a little while now. I don't actually play this game anymore. I haven't for a few years now. I think since the last time I tried to top lane and then realized that this game is just kind of a decaying, broken, abysmal piece of dog shit that really can't be fixed at this point in any meaningful way without a total redesign or remake, and also just the design philosophy and the stuff I liked visually rotting and phasing out with very low likelihood of ever returning. I just saw the signs smeared on the wall with shit and decided it was a good time to bail for me personally. And even the monster designs they do release are still few and far in between. I'll give credit where it's due. I thought this was cool, and even this guy is cool to an extent, but I wouldn't call him a monster. This is just a sexy man with minimal elements of monster. And I just know that there's going to be people, if I don't make this statement right now, who will completely misrepresent me, especially when I use this as an example of abysmal dog shit, and make up some dumbass idea that I just hate women and children or some shit like that because of my lack of interest for cute champs and because of a misguided assumption that I'm like everybody else who shits on these types of champs for sexist reasons, even though I'm not making the argument they are bad. Because they are cute or human, and the reasons I hate these champs are for totally different reasons. I mean, fuck. These are literally children champions, both of these right here. And they are infinitely more interesting than this new shit. Bootleg Disney Bard here, or Sona but lamer, and pink hair this time. And as far as female champions, I mean, I don't know, I guess the only old one that I really didn't like was Lux, but I've also always found Lux and Garen very boring anyway. They're just the tutorial champs. And they're played by the most fucking idiotic... I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because I'm sure most people won't come to this kind of stupid conclusion, but I just wanted to get that out there real quick. It's not for sexist reasons. I don't care what the gender is, just make it look like this. My greatest point of contention is the rapid phasing out of predominantly monster champions, which is entirely what a lot of this game's initial and early beginnings focused on. Back when the story used to just be about collecting a bunch of weirdos from different planes and making them all fight in one big arena, which honestly, call me weird, but I think I kind of preferred that storyline over what they're doing now. I'll accept that I'm probably in the minority on that take, but I think it bred more creativity in some ways. I think now with the current storyline, they've kind of put too many restrictions on themselves with what makes sense given the current lore and context of their new setting. And I understand a lot of people really like Arcane, and they like the new League lore. And honestly, I think there's some aspects to the new lore that I don't mind too, but overall I'm just an old head that likes the cool and weird monster designs more than anything. And that's not to say that a lot of newer champions aren't cool. I mean, I think visually Samira was pretty cool. And Nafiri was also legitimately just a great design, but a majority of the new releases are just disappointing to me. Visually predominantly, but in some ways due to the ever-increasingly more apparent technical limitations of the game mechanically as well, like champions that are just entirely the same as another champion, or a combination of 2 or 3 or 4 other champions, and in such a way where it is plainly obvious, etc. I know I've been scathing this whole video, and haven't really had much of anything nice to say, but I mean that's just my gist. Like, that's what I like to do on this channel. So sorry if you're new here, but I'm not even truly disappointed at this point. I recognize that nothing lasts forever, and that includes the things I was once interested in. The game got bought out, the new company needs money, so it was time to neuter the creativity a little bit, in my opinion, by introducing a somewhat coherent storyline and then changing your design philosophy to fit the needs of your new consumer base, which is predominantly cute Disney shit now, I guess. I've already moved on. I just kinda wanted to make a video about it, not only because the will of my channel ideas is kinda drying up again at the moment, I'll be honest, but also because I'm kinda curious how many people are going to relate with this in the comments section. Usually when I release a video that's just scathing, kind of opinionated, and whatnot, it actually does better than I think it's going to. But I guess we'll see. Maybe this is the one that finally kills my channel. That'd be really funny. But also, I made it partially because I came across this god-awful collection of terrible takes from Reddit. Wow, big surprise there, I know. A bunch of Redditors with dumb takes. I mean, listen, if you personally prefer this over this, fine. It's your opinion. It sucks. But let's not even remotely pretend. Let's not delude ourselves that the generic smooth-faced, edgy guy with a sword and white hair is even remotely novel either. You're coping so hard. Alright, I think that's enough talking about League for probably the rest of my life, actually. Unless, of course, the game gets fixed and they start designing interesting champions visually and mechanically again. So yeah, for the rest of my life. Okay, anyways. I'm not sure what the upload schedule is going to be like after this one. I've recently had to acquire. I guess didn't have to, necessarily, but I've acquired a new job. Probably because of how super duper great the economy in the US is right now, but yeah. I feel like that might take up so much of my time for me to be doing this and to juggle my other hobbies. Fuck it, you never know. Maybe it'll just be more gaps between uploads. But anyway, that out of the way, have a good one, lads.